Peace, YouTube. Hope everybody good. I got another story to tell. This is part 7. If you remember, I have 1 through 6 on my channel, Black Mud. Check them out. I'm just lying out from as far back as I can remember some of my negative experiences with firearms. Before I became a responsible firearm owner like I am now. So this is part 7 of my little storytelling series, you can call it. I got a story to tell. And I'm just going to show you this. This is the story of this right here. I hope you can see that. This newspaper article is 30 years old. It's 1990. So when this incident happened. Actually 1992. I apologize. 1992. If you remember part 6, it was a story of how I went straight to prison, not jail, prison from high school. So check that story out. So this is after that. I came home, I did my time. Because I went to jail, I couldn't graduate on time, so I had to graduate 2 years late. So this was 2 years later, 1992. Maybe a little less than 2 years actually. But this was about 2 years later. So I came home. I had to go to this alternative school to get my diploma. So I'd done all that, and I decided that I wanted to go to the Navy. So I went through the whole process, and I had a leave date. And this is the story of when I got shot. And 2 of my very close friends were unalived. So buckle up, here we go. So before we start, I'm gonna light up my backwood cigar. Take a sip of my Kool-Aid. Here we go. So like I said, this story takes place around 1992. Not around 1992, 1992. The summer, I think it was August. I was all set to leave for the Navy. I had a leave date scheduled for that Monday. This was Friday, the prior Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was out of here. I was supposed to be stationed in San Diego. I was taking my basic training in Illinois. It's called, I forgot the name of it, but if any Navy people watching this, you know what the basic training facility is called up in Illinois for the Navy. That's where I was supposed to take my basic training. Then I was supposed to be stationed in San Diego. If any more Navy people out there, I'm pretty sure you know the ship that I was going to be stationed on in San Diego after my basic training. So like I said, this was Friday. I was leaving that Monday. So earlier that day before it happened, Friday, I think my friends, they had a family-owned business, and they were working. My 2 friends were working. 2 of my friends that were with me. So, but everybody knew that I was leaving to go to the Navy Monday. And you know, the 2 or 3 days prior to me leaving, or supposed to leave, everybody was expressing, you know, how they missed me, and they had all the indifferent reasonings why I shouldn't go. Anyway, I decided to go, not necessarily because I was just so patriotic, you know, not to say I'm not patriotic, but I went just to change the scenery. I've been so many things I could tell you, but life up until this point had been kind of rough, to say the least. So everybody was, we had planned to go out to some little nightclub here locally where I stay at. And I don't know what happened. We all got dressed during the day after everybody got off, but we all decided after it was all said and done that we were just going to end up over another mutual friend's house and have some drinks, play some cards, you know, maybe some ladies come over, listen to some music, something like that. So that's what we did. So we probably got over there about maybe 8 or 9. It was in the summer, so it was still light outside. So it was maybe like towards the evening that we got over there. We started drinking, playing cards, just like spades. No gambling or nothing like that. We were just playing spades. We might have even played some bid whist or something like that, but we definitely played spades. So while we were there, it was upstairs. We noticed my homeboy, who I rode over there with, his car alarm kept going off. So this happened maybe 3 times. The first time, you know, we got up, looked downstairs. He hit his chirper to turn it off, didn't see anything. So it happened again. Somewhere shortly after that, the alarm went off again. And this was kind of rare because this alarm never went off like that. But we still really didn't think nothing of it. It went off. We looked outside. You could literally look out of the window and look straight down and see his car down there. So we didn't really think nothing of it. So after about the 3rd or 4th time of his alarm going off, by this time hours had gone by. It was probably 11:30, 12. It was basically Saturday morning. So we had been there some hours and had a couple drinks, you know. So after the last time the alarm went off, we decided to just leave because it was late and everybody had different situations they had to deal with in the morning. So we all decided to leave. So as we were going downstairs, you know, he stayed in this big ass apartment building. So we were going downstairs to the front door, and we got to the front door. It was dark by this time. And I told you it's probably Saturday morning by this time. It was probably 12, 11, I'd say between 11 and 1 o'clock in the morning. So after we get out of the building, we stand in front of the front door for a second and shoot the shit. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was actually 6 of us. The guy who stayed there, another one of my friends who drove in a different car, and the 4 guys that I came with. We all came in the same car. So it was actually 6 of us. So we shot the shit for a second. My friend that rode in a separate car, he went off in another direction towards his car. Our car was right in front of the building. So my friend Kay, he went back in the house and we started walking towards the car. So it was 4 of us. So 2 of us went to the side, to the driver's side doors, which was facing the street. And the other 2 stood on the sidewalk by the passenger side doors. Now, my friend whose car this was, he always had an issue. It was an old, I think it was a 78 box Chevy, real clean, music, rims, the whole 9. But he would have to jiggle his driver's side door and stick his key and jiggle it and turn it at the same time to open it. Never would get it fixed. I don't understand, but anyway. So while he's jiggling the lock, we both noticed a guy pop up from in front of his car like he was laying down or something or ducked down, and he had a gun in his hand, just like this. He rose up, he had a hood on, and as he rose up, his hood fell off, and he had a gun. His was loaded, but this one is unloaded. and he was pointing it right at us back and forth. You know, passenger side, driver side, passenger side, driver side. And my friends on the passenger side had their hands up. We obviously on the driver's side, we noticed him late because by the time we noticed him, they already had their hands up. And my friend who was driving, he, you know, we both threw our hands up at the same, all of us, when we noticed their hands up, we noticed the gun, we simultaneously threw our hands up. And my friend said, "Hey man, don't we know you?" after his hood came off. And the guy responded, and I did recognize him when his hood came off. I recognized him immediately. We weren't friends, but we weren't enemies either. I just knew of him. We went to the same high school. Anyway, we had mutual friends, but like I said, we weren't enemies, but we weren't friends either. So after we had our hands up, my friend asked him, "Did he know us?" He's like, "Yeah, y'all know me." He said, "Now get on the ground face down and empty your pockets." And so my friends on the passenger side, they turned around and laid in the grass, face down, and my friend and myself, we like looked at each other, and I could have swore it was like telepathy. We both were thinking the same thing: run. So I immediately took off running. And I thought my friend was right behind me, but I got so far and I turned around and looked, and I saw him getting led around the car with the gun still on him. The guy was leading him around the car with the gun on him. By this time, I'm probably maybe a little bit less than half a block away, because I darted. I took off running. I expected to get shot in the back. I really did. But fortunately, I didn't. So I got to the main section of the street where we were at. Ironically, it was exactly where my friend who left prior to us was parked at. So I could see him still trying to get out of the parking spot because two cars were really close to him. And he also had a box Chevy, 78, 79 Impala. So he was still struggling trying to get out as I took off running towards where he was. And as I got to where he was, it was a main street and it was traffic. So I had to weave through the traffic. And by the time that I got to the other side of the street and took off that way, I looked over across back to where I ran from, and I saw the guy that had my friends. Now, mind you, this was probably maybe half a block away. So I'm looking and it's dark. I could see him shooting down towards the ground, shooting down. And right when I thought that, I got shot. Bow, right in the leg, in the thigh right here. And as I was running past my friend's car who was still trying to get out, and I sort of gestured to him to just keep going. And I ran. I kept running. Blood is just pouring down my leg, and I'm running. I remember I was about to cut through an alley, and I remember instinctively thinking like, no, don't go that way, because if somebody's chasing you, they'll corner you in this alley. Stay on the main road. So I stayed on the main road, took off running, got to the store that we all frequently went to, and all the owners knew us. It was an Arab store. Arab owners, they knew us. So I got in the store. But before I got in the store, I made it to the parking lot. If you knew how far I ran with a bullet hole in my leg, it was amazing. But I got to the parking lot in the store, and I seen another guy that I knew. Now I'm bleeding, the blood is pouring down now. And right when I stopped is when I started feeling the pain. I didn't feel any pain the whole time I was running. But right when I stopped is when I started feeling the pain. And I saw another guy that I went to high school with, because this was a mutual neighborhood. I live in a small city, so it's hard not to know everybody, especially if you went to high school with them. So as I approached the guy in the parking lot with my leg, blood running down my leg, I said, man, I can remember it like yesterday. I tried to be as calm as I could. I said, man, I need your help right now. He was like, what's up, man? What's going on? I said, I just got shot. And he looked down. He was like, for real? And he saw the blood, and it's like he went in shock. And he just stood there staring. So I limped into the store. And I saw the guy that I always say, the owner of the store. And as I'm trying to tell him I got shot, can he call my mom or call 911? I can't remember who I told him to call. He noticed at the same time that I was bleeding, and it was bad. It was in the store, and it was people in the store, and somebody else in the store. Matter of fact, it was the guy's brother who I just asked for help outside. I saw him in the store. Ironically, he passed away too, not from a gunshot, but rest in peace to that brother. But I saw him in the store, and he was like, what's up, man? What you want me to do? I said, man, just call somebody, call somebody. And I remember walking behind the counter of the store. Mind you, I think I'm 22 years old. I walked behind the counter of the store, walked up into this little place where they had the safe, and I seen all this money laying out, like he was in there counting money, and I just fucking passed out. I remember seeing blood everywhere, and I remember passing out, coming through, passing out, and somehow in between me coming unconscious and out of conscious and unconscious, I managed to have him call my mom. So I can remember telling him, hearing him speaking to my mom, and it was just a panicked out situation. I started hearing the sirens come, and I blacked out again. The next time I woke up, I was getting put inside of the EMS or the ambulance, and I remember asking the lady, was I going to die? She said no. And the next thought, just ignorance, the next thought I remember, I had just bought these new Fila shoes. This is when Fila first hit the scene and everybody was rocking Fila. So I had these pretty black, it's like they were white, and it's like they had something shiny over the shoe, and it had a really thick bottom, black, with the black Fila sign down the side of the shoe. I had these black, all this stuff was brand new. I spent a grip on it, I think that same day, because we were supposed to hang out. I had these black shorts, they were the shit at the time. Thinking back on it, they were kind of corny. They was these like these jean shorts, and they had like suede on the legs right here. They were shorts with suede on the legs. Thinking back on it, I bet you my thighs was sweating like a motherfucker. But anyway, it was that outfit I had on. I had the black and white Fila shirt to match on, so had my little jewelry on. But I remember thinking, I digress for a second, but I remember thinking that, damn, I got blood on my shoes and blood on my new shorts. And I got a bullet hole in me. And the news that I was about to receive when I got to the hospital, man. So the ride to the hospital, I don't even remember the ride to the hospital, but I do remember going in, and the next time I became conscious, they were cutting my brand new shorts off of me. My shirt was already off. And the first thing they did, because they thought I got shot in my private parts, and the first thing she did was she grabbed and she stuck a catheter down in there. Ooh. If you ever had a catheter in your manhood, you know what I'm talking about. But she stuck that motherfucker down in there, and she pushed that down all the way down in there. I could feel it, and I lost consciousness again. The next time I woke up, I was in a room, and my mom was here. The girl I was dating at the time was in there. It was a detective, black detective, in there with a white partner. And the First thing I remember asking him was everybody all right? And he said, no. And it was like a weird silence. I didn't know what else to ask or say. I said, did anybody die, man? Just like I just said it. And he was like, yeah, 2 of them. Man. Whew. When I say that shit knocked sparks out of me, man. Rest in peace, homies. But I survived. And my friend, they all, after it was all said and done, I talked to a friend, the friend that was with me, the one who was on the side of the car with me. I asked him what happened and what was said. He said, after he went around the car and laid on the ground, one of the guys was his brother. The other guy was his cousin. He said when he shot his brother first, and he saw his brother's ear fly off. And when he shot his brother in the back of the head, execution style, and he saw his ear fly off. And he saw his brother's hands grip the grass and never let the grass go. He skipped over, he said, this is his words, because I wasn't there. He said he skipped over him and then shot his cousin in the back of the head. And then he said, this is according to what my friend told me because he survived. He said, damn, I shot them. I might as well shoot you too then. Boom! Shot him in the back of the head. And he said he remembered everything going black. Fortunately, he survived. The bullet went in here and came out of his throat right here. He's deaf in that ear, but if you didn't grow up with him like I did, you wouldn't even know. He's got like a little slur. He talks a little slow now, but you wouldn't even know it. But he survived, and I survived. And I can't help but think that that was karma. Thanks for listening.